So good afternoon, everyone. I am Thessalonica Sinohin, an instructor from the College of Industrial Technology at Laguna State Polytechnic University, San Pablo City Campus, Philippines. My study is entitled Elderly Parent Caring for an Adult with Down Syndrome, a Case Study. According to the Philippine Star 2015, approximately 1 in every 800 babies is born with Down syndrome, or a child with Down syndrome is born every 4 hours. It is generally caused by the presence of an extra chromosome 21 resulting in trisomy. And trisomy 21 is the most common kind of Down syndrome. While a typical person has 46 chromosomes, a person with DS has 47. This genetic disorder is characterized by the developmental delays and physical features typical of this disorder. And a child with mental disability has different demands from an adult with the same disability because as the individual grows, we know that demands increase as well. According to the studies, parents or caregivers of children with disabilities, whether it is physical or mental, experience greater stress than those without disabilities. And the stress is not only to to the parents or caregivers, but to the whole family. However, family has its unique function of adaptability or coping mechanism, which creates resiliency during time of stress. Thus, the objective of this study are understand the family's interaction during the crisis through the lens of family systems theory, identify the difficulties experienced by an elder parent of an adult with Down syndrome, and examine the family's adaptability or coping strategies. For the methodology, a qualitative research approach was utilized in this study, specifically single case study design. The case study used 3 methods in gathering data, namely direct observation, non-structured interview, and parental stress scale questionnaire by Berry and Jones 1995. The informant or the participant of this study is a father who's 79 years old with a daughter who's 44 years old with Down syndrome and epilepsy. The study was conducted at the town of Masaya, Municipality of Bae, Province of Laguna in the Philippines. So let's have a quick look at the family background. So the father works currently as a home-based hog raiser, and he's a retired plant nursery worker in Saudi Arabia for 11 years. He has other 3 daughters, which is already living with their own families, and he has only son who died in 1996. He started living alone with his youngest daughter who has Down syndrome after his wife died in year 2000. So the following are the family's interaction or dynamics before the father became the only caregiver to his daughter. First, the acceptance of the family members to the child's condition was very easy because she was not a difficult child. The father told through the interview that they never experienced tantrums or bad behavior from their daughter. Second, the values of family love were taught to all family members. The father said, and I quote, "Who else will show love to our daughter if we will not show it to her?" End of quote. Third is the roles of the family were clear. Father to provide for the family, mother to care for the children, and children to obey their parents. When the father became the only caregiver to the youngest daughter, the family dynamics are, the roles did not change. Okay. Daily concerns such as preparing coffee, washing the dishes, sweeping the floor, and other house chores were able to do by his daughter with Down syndrome. Second is the partnership with his daughter that gave him confidence that she can survive even at times he is not at home. The father stated, and I quote, "Before, I felt depressed and frustrated. I felt helpless. But when I finally learned how to take care of her, it was easy for me. She is now my partner in this journey, and I love her." End of quote. So let us now move on to the challenges experienced by the father. The first one is the physical, emotional, and mental stress in balancing between making a living and caring for his daughter. The second is the adjustment of his caregiving skills as he aged to support the needs of his adult daughter who is also aging. And the third is his own health. This table of the parental stress scale shows the negative aspects of the father experienced during the time of interview. So the item number 15, which states, I feel overwhelmed by the responsibility of being a parent, got the highest score. He also expressed that the continuous demand in taking care of her daughter made him feel that his efforts were sometimes not enough. And being the only caregiver to his child, or to his daughter, he felt overwhelmed with the responsibilities accompanied by her condition. And for the coping strategies, the first one identified is first the joy given by his daughter. The father stated, and I quote, she said, she is very loving daughter in her own ways. Before, she makes her siblings laugh and making her the joy of our family. She also has a good relationship with our neighbors because she greeted them whenever she was outside. The children in our place love her because she loves to play with kids. End of quote. This table of parental stress scale shows the positive aspects of the father experience. Item number 1, number 2, 7, 8, 17, and 18 got the highest score. It supported his claim that he looked at his daughter as a partner and not a burden. He appreciates her, enjoys her, and her company, and feels close to her daughter every day. And according to the result of the parental stress scale, the father got the total score of 39 points. The maximum score of 90 points signifies the highest level of parental stress, while the minimum score of 18 points signifies the lowest level of parental stress. The results showed that the father has low-level parental stress at that moment. Another positive source of strength for the father was his relentless faith to God. The father often stated in the interview that his strength comes from God alone. When tough times comes, he acknowledges that the fact that God is in control of everything. He said, and I quote, "Whenever I have doubts and fear come to my mind, I will immediately pray. I know that the trials I have are avenue for me to come closer to him." End of quote. Lastly, the third coping strategy identified is the support of his community and social groups. He said, and I quote, "When my wife died, I was surprised that my neighbors or many people in my neighborhood often visit our house. They let their children play with my daughter, making our house looks like a daycare sometimes. It makes me feel relieved to see that my neighbors care for my daughter." End of quote. So several studies have shown that having a sense of self-reflection as well as good support system have been associated with resilience. And social groups and relationships such as the church or the community are recognized to play a major role in promoting long-term resilience in people, according to Rutter 2013. In conclusion, the partnership of husband and wife, along with the support of their children, were seen as a significant factor in coping to their situation in their early years. The father, though later he was the only caregiver for his daughter, experienced low stress level on their situation. His love for his daughter gave him joy and fulfillment in taking care of her needs, even though he is already slow and weak and aging. His security and assurance of what will happen to them in the future lies in his deep faith in God. Lastly, the community that supports him provided him with unwavering encouragement, which translates of him having so much confidence and hope even with life's uncertainties. It is for the recommendation, it is recommended to have programs that will assist parents physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially with all the demands and difficulties that come along with caregiving a child or an adult with Down syndrome. Also, it is suggested to have projects that will result to community awareness and education which will prevent prejudice and discrimination to mentally challenged children. With that, here are my major references, and thank you for listening.